So you're thinking about moving to Northern Virginia, but you're not quite sure where to start your research? Well, guess what? You just happen to stumble across the absolute best video possible, because I'll be covering the 11 most important things that you must know before moving to Northern Virginia. In this video, we'll break down the cost of living, explore the different style of homes, highlight the region's world-class education system, take a tour through the 4 major counties, plus fantastic drone footage of Northern Virginia all throughout this video, and so much more. And trust me, you're not gonna wanna miss it, so let's dive right into it. Boom! Hey everybody, it's David, your favorite realtor. So I definitely know relocating to a new area can be very stressful and extremely challenging. In fact, I remember when I moved to Northern Virginia from Florida back in the year 2000, and one of my biggest challenges was learning this area, as Northern Virginia is a massive sized area. In fact, it's even bigger than the whole state of Rhode Island. This region's even bigger if you throw in DC and Montgomery County, Maryland. And not to mention, learning about Northern Virginia was a lot harder in the year 2000, since there were no YouTube videos to watch like this, and this is definitely way before having Google Maps in your iPhone. So I really want this video to be a great starting point for your research on what it's really like living in Northern Virginia. So let's get this video started with a quick overview of the 4 major counties. So the 4 major counties you're gonna find in Northern Virginia is gonna be Arlington County, Loudoun County, Prince William County, and Fairfax County. So first we have Arlington County, and Arlington is located directly across the Potomac River from Washington, D.C., making it an integral part of the D.C. metro area. And Arlington is gonna be way different compared to the other 3 major counties. So Arlington is going to be known for its urban village model of development with high-rise condos, townhomes, single-family homes with small lots, walkable mixed-use districts, nightlife, dining, and shopping. So this makes Arlington a great place to live for young professionals who work in the DC Arlington area and want to have great nightlife and entertainment options in their backyard. It's also great for families as well, as Arlington has some of the most highly rated schools in the whole state of Virginia. However, living in Arlington comes at a premium. So due to Arlington's proximity to Washington, D.C., Arlington homes are by far the most expensive out of the 4 major counties, where the median sales price of a single family home comes out to $1,320,000. And that's definitely a lot of money, but if you're gonna work in Arlington or DC, then you can't beat the location of Arlington. Next, we have Loudoun County, and Loudoun County is gonna be located 24 to 60 miles away from Washington, DC. And Loudoun County is gonna be known for its picturesque landscapes, wineries, highly rated schools, newer homes, newer master plan communities with many amenities, very little traffic overall. Plus, it's a mix of suburban and rural living. So I've personally lived in Loudoun County since 2012, and in my opinion, I believe it's the best county overall. In fact, niche.com ranks Loudoun County as the 2nd best county to live in the whole state of Virginia. So the median sales price of a single family home in Loudoun County comes out to $1,060,000, which makes Loudoun County the 2nd most expensive out of the 4 major counties to buy a single family home. Next, we have Fairfax County. So Fairfax County is gonna be 7 to 30 miles away from Washington, D.C., and it's the most populous county in the whole state of Virginia. So Fairfax is gonna be known for its diverse community, excellent public schools, more established neighborhoods, home to many Fortune 500 companies, some of the best town centers in the whole region, and it's a combination of both urban and suburban living. So I personally lived in Fairfax County from 2000 to 2012, and in my opinion, it's the 2nd best county to live in. In fact, niche.com ranks Fairfax County as the 3rd best county to live in the whole state of Virginia. So the median sales price of a single family home in Fairfax County comes out to $975,000, which makes Fairfax County the 3rd most expensive county to buy a single family home. So even though Fairfax County is the 3rd most expensive county to buy a single family home, Fairfax County features the 2 most expensive suburbs in the whole state of Virginia, with Great Falls and McLean, where the median sales price of a single family home in those 2 towns comes out to $1.6 million. Next, we have Prince William County. So Prince William County is gonna be located 25 to 40 miles away from Washington, D.C. Prince William is gonna be known for its rich history, one of the fastest growing job markets in the nation, a wide range of outdoor regional parks, boating, and marinas. And Prince William also offers a blend of suburban and rural living with newer developments like Potomac Shores, which is the largest planned community that's currently being built in the whole state of Virginia. And one of the most popular areas for families to relocate to in Prince William County is gonna be the Gainesville Haymarket area. And the reason why families love relocating to that part of the region is because you'll find highly rated schools and very affordable single-family homes. So Prince William County is by far the most affordable county out of the 4 major counties here in the region, where the median sales price of a single-family home is only $705,000, which is almost half the price of a single-family home in Arlington County. Now, as much as I love making YouTube videos about living right here in Northern Virginia, what I love even more is helping folks just like you relocate to the area. So if you're even thinking about moving to Northern Virginia, reach out to me, give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email. Just know I got your back when you move into Northern Virginia. Next, let's talk about traffic. So who likes sitting in traffic? Well, I know I don't. Well, according to usnews.com, the DC area has the 8th worst traffic in the entire nation. And this is gonna be for the whole DMV area with DC, Maryland, and Virginia. So this translates to terrible traffic in Northern Virginia. And a good rule of thumb is the closer you get to DC, the worse it gets. And what really adds to the traffic is our increasing population, never-ending road construction, and accidents. Now I'll give you a pro tip. If at all possible, I know it's very hard, try to avoid these major highways during rush hour with 495 and 66. Because if you get on those highways during rush hour, it's gonna feel like being stuck in a parking lot. However, a lot of transportation projects have recently been completed, which has really helped alleviate traffic in our region. And this includes the completion of the Metro Silver Line, which has added 8 new metro stations since 2014, and the opening of the 66 express lanes. And this has had a huge relief on traffic, especially if you're going into Arlington from Prince William County. Now, it's gonna cost you a pretty penny to ride in the 66 express lanes, but you're gonna get to your destination so much faster. So throughout the years, I've had people comment on my videos that I'm kind of exaggerating about the traffic. Well, I tell them, go drive on 495 during 5 o'clock rush hour and you let me know how much I'm exaggerating about the traffic. So traffic in our area is definitely not great, and it's something we just kind of have to accept. So kind of think of it this way, it's the price of admission for living in such a great area. Next, we're gonna talk about the style of homes. So in Northern Virginia, you're gonna find a style of home and budget for everyone. Whether you're a first-time home buyer looking for an affordable starter townhouse, or you're a move-up buyer and want a bigger townhouse that has the size and feel of a single-family home, or you're looking for a high-rise 2-bedroom condo that's walking distance to restaurants and shops, or you're looking for your forever home and a great place to raise a family with a single-family home, or you're looking for a new construction, modern, contemporary-style home that's close to DC, or you want a home on 10+ acres of land for optimal privacy. So whatever your home needs are, you will find it in Northern Virginia. Now, one thing you should know about single-family homes in our region, I would say 85 to 90% of them have basements. And a lot of these basements are fully finished. They may have movie theater rooms, bars, even walkout access. And then a style of home that's become really popular these past 10 years or so is the luxury townhouse. And a lot of these features 4 bedrooms, 4 bath, 3,000 square feet, open floor plans, high-end finishes, and rooftop terraces. Now, one of the biggest cons to housing in Northern Virginia is you're gonna find a high percentage of condos and townhomes in our region. In fact, 50% of all the homes in Northern Virginia are either townhomes or condos. So this puts a huge premium on single-family homes. And I definitely understand a lot of people relocating to our area usually are coming from another part of the country where townhomes are not as prevalent and are really resistant to the idea of buying a townhouse. However, we have many different style of townhomes in our region, including townhomes that literally feel like you're in a single family home. You can get up to 5 bedrooms and 5,000 square feet. Another con is you're gonna find a lot of older homes here in our region, especially as you get closer to DC, like in Arlington and Fairfax County, where a lot of those homes were built in the 50s, 60s, and 70s. But overall, if you have the budget for it, you can find any type of home that's perfect for your family's needs all throughout the region. Now, the next thing that you must know before moving to Northern Virginia is our high cost of living. And this is hands down the biggest con to living in our region, as Northern Virginia is one of the wealthiest areas in the entire country, and our cost of living reflects that. But the two main factors to our high cost of living is the high cost of housing and the high cost of daycare. So the median sales price of a home here in Northern Virginia comes out to $720,000. Now, to put that number into context, let's compare that to the national median sales price, and that number comes out to $442,000. So housing is 70% more expensive here in Northern Virginia compared to the nation as a whole. That is a mind-blowing number. And not to mention, that's $720,000. That gets you the average townhouse here in our region, maybe 3 bedrooms, 3 bath, 2,000 square feet with a 1-car garage. Or it's gonna be a much older and smaller single family home, and it may even be a teardown at that price point. Now let's look at rentals, and you really do not get much relief when it comes to renting, as the average 3+ bedroom rental here in Northern Virginia comes out to $3,600 per month. So whether you're buying a $720,000 house or paying $3,600 per month for rent, that is a lot of money and is one of the most challenging aspects to living in our region. So because of our high cost of housing, a trend I've noticed recently with people relocating to our area is they're starting to look at areas that are just outside of the 4 major counties, like in Winchester, Front Royal, and Bealton. Because in those areas, you can find a really nice single family home for $500,000 or less. So I really wish there was more affordable housing options here in the region. But with that being said, you can still find a really good home for well under that medium sales price of $720,000. Now let's talk about daycare. So if you have kiddos under 5 years old, like I do, then you're definitely gonna need daycare. And this is gonna become your highest non-housing monthly expense. So my wife and I, for our 2-year-old toddler, we pay $2,300 per month for daycare. And that $2,300 per month is pretty much par for the course, because I remember when I was doing research looking for a daycare for my daughter, I literally called the 15 closest daycares to my house, and they were all in that $2,100 to $2,500 per month range. So to put that number into context, the national average daycare rate is only $1,372 per month. So my wife and I basically pay $1,000 more a month for daycare compared to the nation as a whole. So this one hurts big time. But the good news is, it's only 3 more years until my daughter goes to kindergarten, but I'm sure there'll be some new monthly expense I'm not even thinking of right now. So yes, when you're relocating to Northern Virginia, you must be prepared for a high cost of living. Now, the next thing that you must know about living in Northern Virginia is employment and career opportunities. So are you looking to take your career to the next level? Then there's almost no better place to live than Northern Virginia. In fact, it's the #1 reason why people relocate here in the first place. As some of the best career opportunities in the entire country can be right here in Northern Virginia and DC. First of all, you have the federal government, which employs a lot of people in our region. Then you have powerhouse companies like Google, Capital One, USA Today, and Amazon. And speaking of Amazon, I swear every other person I meet here in the region works for Amazon. So no matter what industry you're in, you're gonna find some of the best career opportunities here, whether it's information technology, government and defense contractors, finance, medical, real estate, and so much more. So your potential income with our available career opportunities is unlimited. And this is why Northern Virginia has the 1st and 5th wealthiest counties in the entire country in terms of median household income, with Loudoun County coming in at #1 and Fairfax County coming in at #5. So as I mentioned earlier, I moved to Northern Virginia from Jacksonville, Florida, right after I graduated high school back in the year 2000. And moving here was by far the best thing I could have done for my career and my potential income earnings. Now, the next thing that you must know before moving to Northern Virginia is high quality of life. So I've personally lived in 4 different states, 15 different counties, plus I've visited many cities throughout the country, and Northern Virginia ranks very high in terms of quality of life. First of all, it's an A+ area to raise a family. And why do I say that? First of all, education is a huge priority in this area. Then you have low crime rate, and then many family-friendly activities all throughout the region. The next factor that adds to the quality of life, and I mentioned this earlier, is you have unlimited career opportunities here. And then you have an abundance of entertainment options all throughout the region. In fact, I could probably do a whole video just on this topic. First, you can spend an afternoon in Washington, D.C., have a great lunch and a cocktail on the Georgetown waterfront, or you can walk around Old Town Alexandria on a beautiful summer day, which has a huge selection of restaurants and bars, or you can do happy hour and date nights at Reston Town Center. Then we have sporting events like Washington Commander games, which for the first time in 30 years is the hottest ticket in town. Then you have lots of parks and recs throughout the region you get access to. Like you can go hiking at Great Falls Park, which gives you stunning waterfall views of the Potomac River. Or for you water lovers out there, there's a lot of boating activity options on the Potomac River. Then you have the wineries in Western Loudoun County. Then you have great restaurants all throughout the region. Everything from a mom and pop restaurant to a Michelin star restaurant. Then you find some of the best shopping on the whole East Coast with Tyson's Corner Center, which always ranks as one of the top 10 malls in the country. All of these factors really add up to a very high quality of life that you find here in Northern Virginia. Now, the next thing that you must know before moving to Northern Virginia is our world-class education system. So chances are, if you're watching this video, you're actually relocating to Northern Virginia for your career. And having a great career that pays well and that you love is awesome. But being a father myself, what's more important than that is setting up our kids for success. And a great way to do that is by sending them to highly rated schools. In fact, according to niche.com, Northern Virginia has 4 of the top 6 school districts in the whole state of Virginia, with Falls Church City coming in at number 1, Arlington County coming in at number 2, Loudoun County coming in at number 4, and Fairfax County coming in at number 6. And if you break it down by high schools, well, according to usnews.com, 8 of the top 10 ranked high schools in the whole state of Virginia are right here in Northern Virginia. But not everybody wants their kids to go to public schools. Well, you can be covered there as well, as there's an abundance of private schools all throughout our region. So not every school in our regions can be highly rated. A lot of them are, but not all of them. So you really have to take these rankings with a grain of salt and always do your own research. So what happens when the kiddos finally graduate high school? Well, you're gonna find 2 great local universities here in the area. First, you have George Mason University, which is located in Fairfax. And George Mason is a huge university here in the area. And if you're gonna be living in Northern Virginia, you're gonna meet a lot of George Mason alumni. And then you have George Washington, which has 3 campuses, one in Arlington, Alexandria, and Ashburn. And then just a few hours away, you have the University of Virginia, which US News ranks as the 24th best university in the entire country. So most parents who are moving to Northern Virginia, this is their favorite part about the area, is the world-class education system. Next, we have the Metro and the Virginia Railway Express. So I mentioned earlier that the traffic here in our region is terrible, but one way to avoid bumper-to-bumper traffic is by utilizing both our convenient rail systems with the Metro and the VRE. First, you have the Metro, which is a subway system serving Washington, D.C., Virginia, and Maryland. In fact, you'll find 25 metro stations located in Northern Virginia. And then in 2022, the Silver Line extension opened, which added stops in Reston Town Center, Dulles International Airport, and for the first time ever, a metro station in Loudoun County with the Ashburn Metro Station. So let me share with you a real-world example using the Metro. So let's say you live in Ashburn, work in DC. Well, that train ride is going to take you about 60 to 85 minutes, and that doesn't include driving to and from the Metro. So you're definitely not going to save time, but you're going to avoid the aggravation of bumper-to-bumper traffic and wear and tear on your car. Plus, you can get some work done on the Metro, kind of give you a head start to the day. Then you have the VRE, which is a commuter rail service from the Northern Virginia suburbs to Alexandria, Crystal City, and downtown Washington, D.C. So the VRE is going to be a great option for you if you live in the Clifton, Manassas area, because there's no metro stations in that area. So currently the VRE has 17 stations in Virginia, and they're planning to open a brand new station at Potomac Shores in late 2027. So I personally know so many people who utilize either the Metro or the VRE for their daily commute, and it's going to be a great option overall if you just want to avoid traffic altogether. Now the next thing that you must know before moving to Northern Virginia is personal property tax, aka the car tax. So what is this car tax all about? Well, in Virginia, we have sales tax and we have real estate taxes, just like the rest of the country. But we also have another tax, which is the personal property tax. So the personal property tax is going to be a tax levied on the ownership of personal property such as cars, motorcycles, trucks, boats, campers, trailers, and planes. And since most people don't own boats or planes, but everybody owns a car, that's why it's commonly referred to as the car tax. So 24 other states actually have a personal property tax, but Virginia's car tax is the highest in the nation. So the county I personally live in, which is Loudoun County, the personal property tax rate is $4.15 per $100 of assessed value. So my 2025 car tax bill is coming, but I don't have it yet. So let me share with you what I paid in 2024, and the number is gonna absolutely shock you. So my household has 2 cars, a 2021 Tesla Model 3 and a 2024 BMW X5. And my combined 2024 car tax bill came out to $3,258. And that one hurt quite a bit. There's a million other things I'd rather spend $3,000 on. I can save that money, I can invest it, I can use it on our vacation, pay for my daughter's daycare. There's a million other things I'd rather spend that money on besides a car tax. So yes, nobody likes paying the car tax, but again, you have to think of it this way. It's just kind of the price of admission for living in Virginia. Next, let's talk about the weather. So Northern Virginia definitely doesn't have the best weather in the country, but we don't have the worst as well. Kind of lands somewhere in the middle. Now, the biggest complaint about the weather here in Northern Virginia is that weather can fluctuate extremely quickly. In fact, I've seen it be 68 degrees one day, and then the next day we get 5 inches of snow. I've seen us get 0 rain for 15 straight days. And then I've seen us get non-stop massive rainpours for 15 straight days. Or my personal favorite, it's 80 degrees today, feels like summer, and then tomorrow's 28 degrees. So the summertime can be extremely brutal, especially during July when it's 95 degrees and humid, and not to mention all the bugs that you find here in the summertime. Then the winters, especially during January and February, can be extremely cold and bitter. Now, we don't get as much snow as we used to, but we can get a blizzard from time to time. Now, springtime's absolutely beautiful, but we do get a lot of rain and extreme weather fluctuations. And then my favorite part, tons of pollen. So my word of advice is, if you move into the region, don't buy a black car, because your black car in April and May, it's not gonna be a black car, it's gonna be a yellow car. And then fall weather is absolutely beautiful. Very little rain, not too hot, not too cold. Really the only downside to fall is it's over extremely quickly. But here's a funny meme I wanna share with you, and this meme emphasizes our all over the place weather, as this meme shows that we actually have 12 seasons of weather in Virginia, not 4. But right now, as of me filming this video, we're right in the middle of actual fall. So yes, the weather can be all over the place, but as I mentioned earlier, at least we don't have the worst weather in the country. Now the next thing that you must know, and this is probably one of the most underrated aspects of living in Northern Virginia, is having 2 major airports in our region. First, you have Dulles International Airport, which is located on the border of Fairfax and Loudoun County, which is perfect for international travel and long-haul domestic flights. Then you have Reagan National Airport, which is located in Arlington, which makes quick business trips and regional flights incredibly convenient. So without question, the best part about having 2 airports in your backyard is you get to shop both airline rates and travel times. For example, I'm going to Vegas here in about 3 weeks, and when I was on Expedia.com, I'm looking at both Dulles and Reagan for my flight options, and the best combination I could find in terms of flight times and airline fares was flying out of Dulles into Vegas and flying from Vegas back to Reagan. Now, if you live in an area with just 1 airport, then your options are way limited. But yes, you have so many travel options when you have 2 airports in your backyard. Now, a con to having 2 airports in your region is a lot of areas you're gonna hear airplane noise. And some areas are way worse than others. I happen to live in one of the worst areas possible. So I live in Ashburn, about 8 miles away from Dulles International Airport, and daily I hear airplane noise. Now, if I'm inside of my house, windows are closed, I don't hear the airplane noise. But if I go outside for a walk or I sit down on my balcony, within 5 minutes, I'm gonna hear airplane noise that sounds just like this. So I personally don't think the airplane noise is that bad. At worst, it's a small inconvenience and definitely should not be a deal breaker. So if you're even thinking about moving to the area, I would highly recommend it. Without question, the best decision I've ever made in my life was moving to Northern Virginia, both for my career and for my family. So if you are moving to Northern Virginia, you gotta reach out to me. Give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email, and we can talk about your goals, timing, and come up with a game plan to make your relocation as easy and smooth as possible. And if you want to learn more about living right here in Northern Virginia, check out these videos right here. They're gonna be great ways to continue your research, and I'll catch you in the next video.